Hello Seekers and bienvenidos to another Pick a Card reading. My name is Kim and for today's reading we're going to be unfolding the story of your divine connection with your divine counterpart, thus the Lover's Tale. So to unfold each and every story that we have here, we're going to be looking at both tarot and oracle cards. Then we're going to be pulling down the stars to see what they have to tell us in terms of letters, numbers, and astrological sign. And last but not least, we're going to be digging into our little treasure box over here to pull out some love messages, notes, quotes, and lyrics with the help of our trusted little pendulum over here. Okay, so do stick around for that. So please do keep in mind that this video will be divided into two parts, two videos, because we're really going to go in depth with each and every story that we have here. Okay, so we have 4 groups to choose from, 4 stories to tell. The first group is the tale of the fated lovers. The second group is the tale of when the sun met the moon. The third group is the tale of the destined stars. And the fourth group is the tale of fate and time. So please pause the video if you need to. Take the time to meditate, relax, breathe on it. And whatever card, group, or tale calls out to you, then that will be your group. And I will see you in a bit with your story. Let's go! Hello Seekers who chose the tale of the fated lovers. So to begin unfolding this story, we're first going to be looking at this one tarot card to get just the general energy of the connection. But before we flip this card over, I just want to give you an intuitive message of what I'm picking up energetically in regards to this connection. So right off the bat, what I get is that this connection is very heart-centered. We can even see here in the image how they're holding hands, right? And this represents the connection between these two. But their other hand is being placed over their heart. So this connection is heart-centered. So if you are not in physical contact, physical communication with this person, or if you don't know who this person is, I do feel that you sense this person energetically. And if you're not in communication with this person, you are in connection with them telepathically. Yeah, so I feel that it's when you allow yourself to truly feel into your heart, that's when the connection just clicks, when you can communicate with this person. So I'm just imagining like when you go to sleep, when you daydream, when you just relax and really feel into your emotions, open your heart. You may even feel that sensation around your chest area, like the energy expanding there. And that's when you're actually calling out to this person or receiving messages from this person. It's very emotion-based, feeling-based. It's very pure as well. We can even see this represented by the pink here. It feels very sweet, very kind, very innocent and romantic because we do have Cupid being represented here in the back. And now, if I have to give a name to this, it feels very much like kindred spirits or soulmates, right? So soulmates is deriving from the same pool of water. Here, I'm going to say it's like deriving from the same tree. So you come from the same tree, right? But it feels like your connection is even stronger because you not only come from the same tree, but you derive from the same branch. As we can see here, this branch and these 2 apples. So these 2 apples are representing these 2 lovers here, these 2 individuals. So it's like if you meet your soul family, right, you do feel this very strong connection with them, but it feels like this one person you have an even stronger and deeper connection with them because it's you deriving from the same branch. But I feel it's even stronger because it's literally a connection that's coming from the heart space. It feels very like a childlike innocence and essence. I think that if there is a basis for this connection, it would be friendship. Like this is a connection that's based on friendship, on loyalty, on love. So I wouldn't imagine right off the bat that this would be romantic because I feel that it could even go as far as being platonic. A feeling that this love is so pure and genuine and wholesome that it doesn't have to be labeled anything in specific. It's just taking care of the other and knowing that the other is safe and well and happy really brings happiness and joy to the other as well. So it's like saying, it's okay if you don't want me as a romantic partner, if you don't want me involved in your life. Just knowing that you're okay and that you're safe, and me feeling that you are happy, allows me to be happy as well. Because again, the connection does come from the heart. So it's like when this person is in that joyful, peaceful state, then the other person can feel it as well. So like Cupid here is represented as love. This is a genuine and wholesome and pure love. Yeah, and you might be very like-minded because we do have them both represented in the same color here. So very sweet and kind, very innocent. I'm just reminded of very pure, like childlike innocence. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here. Now let's turn over the card to get, okay. So we have the World Tree. Now the World Tree in the traditional tarot is the World card. And what this represents for me is the closing of the cycle, the coming together. As we can even see here, all the seasons are being represented in this one tree. So it's a union, right? It's like the completion and the coming together of all that is. Now, what I get from the World Tree is that this is a bird's eye view into one's life or journey. We can even see here the labyrinth. Now the labyrinth represents a person's life journey. So when we're in the labyrinth, things seem a little confusing. Sometimes we feel a little lost or stuck. And sometimes we think that this labyrinth leads us to nowhere, right? That it's just us running crazy in circles. But what it's telling you is that there's actually a destination. There's actually a place to arrive to at the end of this labyrinth. So this journey is not without a purpose because it leads you to home. And I feel that that's what this connection is. It's this home. Literally, I'm seeing these two hands and they just represent for me this one tree. So it's that meeting space, that meeting in the middle. Do not sense that you might be in physical contact with this person, but I do sense that there is a strong spiritual connection between you both, that you probably have felt it for a long time, but maybe one of you has barely become aware of it. Because like I said, I do feel that when you dream or you allow yourself to daydream or just feel into your heart space, you come to this meeting point, this meeting place. It's like coming home. So this person very much feels like home. Yeah. So with the World Tree, it also represents like distance, coming from different countries. So you might be at a distance from each other. You might actually be from different countries or different states, and may speak different languages as well. But the language of the heart is universal because it's feelings, it's the essence of one, it's emotions. So I feel that you two have no problem communicating within the heart space. And maybe that's why the communication derives from the heart space, because in the physical or the 3D plane, you actually speak different languages. So it's easier to communicate and connect through the heart space. And I do feel that there's a lot of communication between you two. Like if you have some troubles or struggling in life in this labyrinth, you feel lost, or you want some solutions to some problems that you have or situations, I feel that that's when you automatically and instinctively allow yourself to connect to your heart space. And you meet this person on a soul level and connect with them and talk to them. And maybe when you wake up from that dream or from that daydream, or even meditation, if you meditate, then you have more awareness or have a solution to your problems, or you feel even more calm, or you feel that love within you. So that's what I'm getting here with the World Tree. Yeah, so it feels like a very wholesome and pure connection. It's like coming back home. And like we said, it's the tree, right? We do have the tree branches here. So I do feel that this person is part of your soul family. But it's like you two have a stronger connection because you not only derive from the same tree, but you also derive from the same branch. So I think that it's when you're connecting to your heart space, it's also connecting to that higher self. So your true essence, right? And I think that this is also reminding me of that higher self connecting with source. So when you allow yourself just to connect with that higher source, then it's when you connect with this person. And it's like you don't even have to call them out. It's just when you connect, it's instantaneous, just like that. You call this person in because you are from that same source, from that same tree. Yeah. So I think this person, in a way, looks out for you a lot spiritually if this person is not in your physical reality yet. And we do have 2 here, which represents union for me. 1 represents new beginnings. So maybe the next phase of your life, when you close the cycle of your life, the next phase will be a new beginning with this person. Because I feel that maybe you're not in connection with this person yet. Okay, but now let's look at 1 tarot card to represent the divine masculine, his personality, its energy, just to get more information on the divine masculine, and 1 card for the divine feminine. Okay? So let's see what we have for divine masculine. We have the Knight of Wands. Okay, so for the divine masculine, now remember that divine masculine, divine feminine have nothing to do with gender or sex. It's just an energy. We all have divine masculine and divine feminine within us, which creates the balance within us all. It's like the yin and the yang. But we're just speaking of divine masculine right now, because sometimes we embody more of one energy than the other. So the Knight of Wands. So what I'm sensing here is a very passionate and driven energy. This is very quick energy as well. It's like always on the run type of energy, very playful. I'm just imagining this crow like laughing, a very witty energy. And also very smart, like they have a very good memory. And they can also be leaders, because I see this with the crown, leadership. Also very creative, because I did notice now that it has 3 feet, and 3 for me is the number of creativity and creation. This person might also be very dreamy. I get it here with this eye and the clouds being represented here. It's like he has his head up in the clouds quite a lot. It's a very dreamy energy. And for some reason, I feel that the divine masculine, he likes to play the protector role. So he is the knight, right? So he likes to suit up in his shining armor and be the protector, play the knight. But I feel that actually it's the divine feminine that really comes off more like the protector. This person seems just like very silly and very childlike. It may come off as a bit immature, but I do not sense that immatureness. It's just very innocent, this energy. It kind of reminds me of like, if those of you who've seen the Avatar of Sokka, yeah, this Knight of Wands kind of reminds me of Sokka. Very driven, hardworking, very passionate. But I feel that there's a bit of innocence and a little immaturity within the Knight of Wands. Okay, that's what I'm getting here. But we'll get more information as we go. Now let's look at the divine feminine. Oh, the Empress. Okay, so cool. So the divine feminine is coming off as the Empress. This is a very mature energy. It reminds me of Mother Gaia, and it's also the mother, right? So I feel that divine feminine is actually very mature, emotionally and mature, and also very creative. I do see that with the stars being represented here, but I feel that unlike the Knight of Wands, the Empress is actually more patient per se, because I feel that the Knight of Wands is very driven, very passionate, and I feel that they are very creative, but they might be, what do they say, multi-talented, so they might have a lot of dreams and ideas, but they're so passionate about them all that they want to do them all at once. I see that with all these flowers being represented here, and that may be a reason for which they cannot fully accomplish one thing at a time, because they can't, sit down and actually put one thing to work, because they might get bored easily, or they just get too excited that they want to move on to the second thing. And so I see that the Empress, what she has kind of learned is patience. So I actually see that the Empress has accomplished many projects or has many creative pursuits, but she actually has placed them into fruition. And I'm seeing this with the wheat being represented here. It's like harvest, reaping your reward. And I see that with the stars here being used as earrings or as hair accessories. Like she has collected her dreams, she has collected her abundance. And even if she has not accomplished all of her dreams, she keeps them all in mind, she remembers them. But unlike the Knight of Wands, she actually executes them one at a time. So she has learned the value and importance of patience. Yeah. And I'm also seeing that I'm also getting that energy that, remember I said that the Knight of Wands might want to play as the protector, but it's actually the Divine Feminine who plays that protector role, because I'm actually looking at her and she's looking at the Knight of Wands with such fondness, like a mother to a child, because they might be they're very action oriented, so they might be a bit hasty, you know, with their decisions and with their actions, and you're always in the background kind of just like allowing them to be, but in situations calming them down. So I do feel that the Empress allows the Knight of Wands to be himself and to do the things that he wants, but it's actually the Empress who's always like looking out for him in the background, and who's actually the one who's at the front of things, or who kind of maybe cleans up the mess at the end, but she's actually the protector more to the Knight of Wands. Even though the Knight of Wands has good intentions, wants to take care of his Empress or take care of the situation, you know, always doesn't turn out that way. I'm getting a lot of, like, again from the Avatar, what is that, Sokka and Suki vibes? Yeah. So he wants to play the warrior, but it's actually the Empress who has the skills. So I'm getting a very sweet energy here. It's very compassionate, empathic, very hardworking as well. I see this like Virgo energy, very detail-oriented, very focused, very goal-driven, and I see the Divine Empress as very abundant as well. So maybe in the physical realm, the Empress might be a little bit more ahead in terms of career, or in terms of wealth, or just in terms of having accomplished most of her dreams, or being more sure of her identity and what she wants for herself, because I'm sensing a lot of peace with this one, inner peace. And this one is also very passionate energy, but unlike this like wildfire passion energy of the Knight of Wands, this one is more soothing and calming. So I'm sensing like this person can be very, very creative. I'm sensing music with the Knight of Wands. I'm thinking a guitar all of a sudden for some reason, but the Empress might be more of poetry and like drawing or painting, and also like very chill or soothing aesthetics. Just, it's a very peaceful energy that I sense with the Empress. Okay, very beautiful as well. Another card flew out for the Divine Feminine, and that is the Moon. Oh, that's beautiful, with the Empress. So this is another card that flew out for the Divine Feminine. So the Moon represents, for me, I also relate it with the Divine Feminine, because the Moon rules the tides, rules the water, and water for me represents emotions, and that's what I get from the Divine Feminine. It's a very emotional and receptive energy. And we do have this pink being represented here as well, and that pink is the sweetness and innocence and kindness. So I feel that the Empress is this very empathic individual. Also with the Empress, I get great manifester. And with the Moon, the full moon reminds me of manifestations. So the Empress might actually be, or the Divine Feminine might actually be very spiritual, or into the mysticism, very spiritually aware. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, great manifestors. And I'm sensing also that with the rabbit here, which reminds me of luck, and also of purity, because it's very represented in white. So again, I'm being called to these red flowers that I see here with the Knight of Wands. So you guys might share similar passions, similar pursuits. You might end up collaborating on some creative projects together. And with the red being shown here, this the Divine Feminine is also very passionate. Again, like I said, very creative. So into the creative arts, I feel. And we also have the crescent moon being represented here with me, which means for me new beginnings. So I sense that the Divine Feminine has a lot of projects, creates and begins a lot of different projects. She's also very much like the Knight of Wands, very multi-talented. But unlike the Knight of Wands, she focuses on one thing at a time, or gives a certain energy and time to each different project or talent that she has, or the Divine Feminine has. So that's what I'm getting here. Also very free-spirited. I feel that the divine feminine often comes out as this boss figure, as independent and self-reliant. And I feel that it's only when she's with the Knight of Wands that she truly can be this more free-spirited energy. Like she can put her hair up in 2 little ponytails and dress all in pink and just be her childlike self. Because I feel that the Empress actually finds the Knight of Wands very funny. I feel that she, like, the Knight of Wands has the Empress laughing all the time. She loves his wit. She loves his humor. And yeah, his innocence and his childlikeness just reminds him that she has a childlike innocence within herself as well. And then she can show up here as the moon. You feel free. You can be your true self with this person. Like I said, it's coming back home. And I feel that for other people, the Knight of Wands might come off as very immature, but you don't see that in them. And they appreciate that in you because you actually listen to them. This Knight of Wands feels very talkative to me as well. Like they love to talk a lot and express their ideas. And you're a very good listener. You don't mind their talking. You get a lot of insight in their talking. You find them very wise, very witty, very funny. And you just love that about them. And they love that you listen to them. And that you actually care, and that you not only listen, but then you also give, you support them in their ideas, and you give them further ideas, or just ground them a bit. Be like, okay, just not only dream about it, but let's do it. Let's bring it into the world. Let's do this thing. And that's what I feel that you, like a lot of communication in this meeting space. Like you two come together and you talk a lot. There's a lot of talking. Yeah, and they support you. They see you as this Empress figure, like this powerhouse, and they love you so much for it. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. Okay, now we're going to be looking at the Oracle cards to unfold this story even further. Okay, so the first card that fell out is Earth Mother. The second card is Release in Reverse. Next we have Mystery. Gratitude card in reverse, Guarded, and Joy. Okay. Okay, so I am seeing these 2 cards as how the divine masculine has affected or influenced the divine feminine, and I'm seeing these 2 cards as how the divine feminine has affected or influenced the divine masculine. Okay, and this is, I feel, more of where the connection is at right now in terms of energy. Okay, so firstly, I feel that this story began to unfold when one of the 2 lovers became aware of the connection. Okay, so I'm seeing that the universe is being represented here by Cupid. So it was not until Cupid's arrow struck one of these lovers that the story really began to unfurl. And I'm seeing as the lover that got struck by Cupid's arrow is actually the divine feminine, the Empress. I say this because Earth Mother comes up here, and Earth Mother for me is the Empress card. She is that divine feminine and Mother Gaia archetype. Now, I feel that the universe orchestrated to be this way because they needed the divine feminine to awaken, to come into her power, to remember who she is at the core, to remember her essence. Because I feel that the divine feminine had forgotten that for some years. So I feel that early on in the divine feminine's life, the divine feminine had to become this independent individual and become self-reliant. So become kind of like this father-like figure or protector, not only for herself, but maybe also for people around her. So she really had to grow up in a way, leave her innocence or this childlike energy behind to become this father-like figure or this protector. And that is why I feel now that the divine feminine has been the one to ask to awaken first to its divine masculine, because I feel that becoming aware of the divine masculine has really inspired the divine feminine to remember to remember who she is, to remember her essence, to remember that childlike innocence within her. Because the Empress at the core, she is this mother-like figure. She is this vulnerable and compassionate and kind and gentle spirit. And I think that that had been put aside, or kind of, hardened to be this independent and self-reliant figure. So I feel that for most of the Divine Feminine's life, the Divine Feminine had to work hard for her success, for what she wanted, or just to like stay on task, or stay, on toes. Yes, and so it was very this very hardened kind of heart. Like the Divine Feminine didn't allow herself to be vulnerable, because I feel that vulnerability was a form of weakness, right? Because to be this independent, to be this protector, to be this father-like figure, you couldn't show weakness, you couldn't be vulnerable. You had to be headstrong, right? And you had to be strong. So I feel that that's why the Divine Masculine was presented to the Divine Feminine, because the Divine Masculine does come out as this very playful energy, this very passionate individual who expresses a lot of this childlike essence. I feel this very innocent energy coming from the Knight of Wands. And I think that seeing this essence, this light in the Divine Masculine, inspired the Divine Feminine to recognize that light within herself. And that is why I see this like flowers here sprouting out of her neck as like these beautiful thoughts, but kind of this also enlightenment of this remembrance of this is truly my essence. This is where I'm coming from, this beauty, this wonder, this magic. And that's what this Knight of Wands brought into the Divine Feminine's life. Now we see a lot of pink being represented here for the Empress. We see it again here in the dress. Now that pink again is that vulnerability, it's kindness, it's sweetness, it's innocence, and that's truly what the Empress is. So yes, this is the Empress, again with the you. This is the Empress, this very protective, powerhouse energy. But remember that 2 cards fell out for this one. So what's under the Empress, what's under this very powerful figure, is this very sweet, vulnerable, kind, and free-spirited energy. This pure energy with the white bunny here, passionate and creative, but also very like pure and sweet. Like it's putting up 2 ponytails, right? And being that little girl again and not caring is allowing yourself to be protected and not only the protector. And that's who you really are at the essence. So you may come as this because this is how you have matured into your life, your journey. This labyrinth has strengthened you into this Empress. But at the core, you are this child still. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel that when you fall into this energy, it's really when you feel free. It's really when you feel like you're coming at home. And this is what this Divine Masculine brings out in the Divine Feminine, which is very pure, very sweet, just very cute. And so that is what I'm seeing here. That is why the Divine Feminine had to awaken to this connection first, to remember that magic within herself, that sweetness and kindness within herself, her essence, because she embodied the Divine Masculine, that masculine energy for quite a long time, that she forgot about her femininity. And this is coming into that feminine prowess. And remember that being in that feminine energy is also very powerful, because I do feel that the Empress is also a very creative individual. Remember, we did say that with all of these stars. And I feel that a lot of that creativity had to be put aside to become this protector or provider for herself, or maybe for her family, for other people. She had to put her dreams aside. And this is reminding her, like, no, go back to that. You have so many talents, because I see this couple as very creative and talented, like in the creative arts. And I feel this with the Empress, like she has a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity within her. And this is coming back into that, like, it's like rekindling that passion. And again, with these like flowers, there's all of those ideas and allowing them to bloom, to actually put them forward. And this person, I think, for just being them, I'm sensing that for some reason with this energy, I'm sensing that the Knight of Wands, the Divine Masculine, might be in a sense of a public figure, or might be someone who does put their creative work out there in whatever form, be it writing, be it music, be it art. This person does put their work out there. It's not, and I feel they like produce constantly a lot. And so the Divine Feminine, the Empress, witnessed this and kind of got inspired by it. And she remembers she also has these talents, and she also wanted to share it with the world. And then that's when she slowly starts coming into her own, starts realizing all of those dreams, making them come true, and starts accumulating her abundance. And so also what I'm sensing with this is that maybe the Empress, if this is a public figure, maybe the Divine Feminine put the Divine Masculine on a pedestal for quite a while. I see this with the flowers, like, you know, a lot of good thoughts, too much good thoughts, a lot of positivity here. And with the Release card being here, I feel that the Divine Feminine had to release all of these high expectations when it came to the Knight of Wands. Because she had the Divine Masculine on a pedestal. And so she really had to release all of these expectations or ideologies or ideas that she had of the Divine Masculine, to really, in a way, set herself free. Because putting this person on a pedestal created this form of imbalance, because it's saying that this person is far better than I. Right? When in reality, you two are one and the same. You're on the same level. You come from the same branch. So thinking that one person is better, that you need to put this person on a pedestal and you need to be looking up to them, kind of creates, again, it's not on the same level. This like imbalance. And so how can the connection really strengthen with that if you're not on the same frequency? Right? If you're not on the same level, how can you meet? So I feel that the Divine Feminine, she really needs to come into her power. She really needs to understand that she's also this beautiful, creative individual, that she's also funny, smart, beautiful, right? And that she can also create, she can also shine this bright like the Knight of Wands. Like she sees the Knight of Wands, she can shine as bright. And so it was releasing these expectations, letting go. And in a way, I also see this as seeds, or as rewards. So I see it as like the old beliefs and that insecurity that kept you from truly embodying your true essence are the rocks that you're letting go, like the pebbles. But as you let them go, the universe is gifting you with seeds, with beautiful seeds to allow these flowers to bloom, to reap this harvest. So again, the Empress is also a great manifester, right? Because she is the mother figure. Mothers give birth, they give life, they're creators. So it's like coming out of this mentality that you have to work really hard, that you have to sacrifice, that you have to suffer in order to reap your rewards. Is coming out of those ideas and beliefs and understanding that you are this magical being and you don't have to suffer. You don't have to work so hard and sacrifice to get what you deserve, to get what you want. Because you only have to be, you have to just be in your true essence. Open up your heart and wish for it. Work on it, yes, but not to like an extent where it's like literally the blood, sweat, and tears. No, you just allow to receive. And that's also the Empress, allowing herself to receive. So it's not only giving, not only being this protector, but it's also receiving, it's being protected as well, and knowing that that is okay. So I feel that that's what's coming in. Releasing expectations, releasing old beliefs, and that allows you for like gifts of the universe to come in. And it also allows the possibility for this connection to actually manifest in the reality, because you're moving away from the mentality that you are not on the same level as this person, because you actually are. You're connected at the heart. So you realizing that this is just a person just like you, and you're meeting on the same level allows for this connection to actually come into the physical reality, because now you can meet. And so now for here we have the divine, how the divine feminine affects the divine masculine. So I see that this has yet to come, because I feel that what is being worked on at this moment is this energy with the divine feminine to awaken her. Now with the divine masculine, I see that at this moment the divine masculine is very guarded. So I feel that they have accomplished quite a bit in their life. They have allowed themselves to express their creative ideas, because again, they're a very passionate individual. They do come off as a leader. So they might have created their own business, or might be the leader of like their business or the creative pursuits. But I feel that this came with a lot of, again, the word sacrifice keeps coming up. Like I feel this couple is dealing with the notion that there needs to be sacrifice in order to receive what they feel they deserve, or in order to receive some form of abundance. I see this with the guarded card, because these just remind me of tears. Again, it's that blood, sweat, and tears idea. So I do feel that this person might have suffered a lot, or might have gone through a lot of trials and tribulations to get the success, the fame, the recognition that they have now. And what that has happened is that it has kind of made them feel that they need to put up walls, that they need to put up their guards. So there's this sense of mistrust, right? Because we do have this eye on the hand. It's like always being precautious and seeing everybody, you know, with mistrusting eyes. Like you can't really trust everybody. Maybe that has allowed them to put up a guard, also to close up their hearts, to not allow connections to seed or to grow. Because I do see him standing solo, like he is in his leadership power, but I feel that this energy is very much of, I can do this on my own. I really don't need the help of others, or this person might feel like a burden if they do ask for help from others. And with the divine feminine comes in, exuding, now when she comes into her power and exuding this pink aura, this vulnerability, this softness and kindness, softens the Knight of Wands heart. You know, melts those walls and creates that trust again, because the Empress is trustful. She genuinely cares. She's that mother-like energy, that mother figure. And so it's really wiping away those tears and teaching the Knight of Wands, you know, no, life doesn't have to be about sacrifice and suffering. Life is about joy. It's about joy. It's about magic. It's about enjoying yourself. It's about happiness. And so that's what the divine feminine comes in to teach. So it's like she learns her lessons first, so then when she can meet the divine masculine, she can help him rise as well into this magician. Because I do sense this as the magician, because we do have this person carrying this wand here and like jumping and leaping in faith in front of the sun. Now the sun reminds me of divine masculine energy. So this is the divine masculine coming into its power, right? Understanding that they are the magician, that they don't need to suffer or sacrifice in order to have the life that they want to live, in order to be happy and joyful. No, because life is about love, it's about joy. And so that's what the divine feminine comes in to teach. And then divine masculine helps the divine feminine come into her own essence and power, but just reminding her of this like creative and passionate energy, about this childlike essence. So that's what I'm getting here. And then with the current energy of this relationship, we do have mystery and the gratitude card in reverse. So I do sense that at this moment, for most of you, for the majority of you, you are not in physical contact with this person. Again, because I do sense that the Empress knows of the divine masculine, but the divine masculine does not know yet of the divine feminine. And so that's why we have the mystery card. It's like the union has yet to be seen. It's not that it's not going to happen, because we do have this tree being represented here on top of this canoe. And now the canoe is the color green, which reminds me a lot of the heart chakra. So it's that opening of the heart space. It's allowing yourself to truly be authentic, to really come and shine your light and being your true essence. And again, we're talking about this heart connection. So I feel as this connection strengthens even more by the heart, the divine feminine coming into her power, the divine masculine learning that sacrifice and suffering is not the way to joy and happiness. It allows that barrier in the heart to melt, and so this connection can deepen, right? And then it can come into fruition, like this tree that we see here can actually grow. This meeting place can not only be on a spiritual level, but can also be manifested in the physical reality, and you two can meet. And with this gratitude card in reverse, so I feel that there's still yet to evolve for the divine feminine, and there's still yet to evolve in the divine masculine aspect, right? There's still need to come out of like this dark space in order to fully rise. To remember that each of you have wings, that each of you are these birds, and you can take flight. You can rise from this dark period. You have that power to take flight, to go anywhere you want, to go to this meeting space. So I feel that right now you're still each working on your own, but I do feel that there is this spiritual connection being formed now through the heart space, and that you do communicate and help each other grow, even though you might not be aware of it, even though the divine masculine might not truly be aware of the connection. I feel that you are already, or the divine feminine is. Okay, so I'm going to be pulling a card for each individual here, just to see what they're working on at the moment and what may be affecting the connection overall right now. So from like manifesting to the reality, or yeah. So we have the 7 of Hearts here. So let me put it right for you guys. So this is the stork, right? So this denotes change. And also, since we have a pair here, it just reminds me of like couples, again, like the soul mates kind of energy. What I'm reminded with by the storks is like messages, because they are usually the ones that carry like the babies. If you guys see Dumbo, they deliver, right? They deliver messages. So what I'm sensing here is that the divine masculine, like I did sense before, I do not feel he's yet aware of the connection. And I feel that it's probably this energy of being guarded, of putting up the defenses, of having the heart chakra closed, is not allowing for this person to fully manifest into the divine feminine's life. So I feel that the divine feminine is a bit, I wouldn't like to say stuck, but it's yet to come through with this energy to heal this aspect of themselves, and so that they could fully be aware of this connection, open up to it, and start the possibility of manifesting into the divine feminine's physical life. And so for the divine feminine, we have this card just represents the lady. Yeah, so she's the lady whose fortune is being told. And that's exactly, just reminds me of divine feminine again. It's the Empress. So I really feel that the divine feminine right now is really working on herself, is really coming into her power, is really finding her self-identity and remembering her essence. And this is great, because once the divine feminine does, then I feel that's when the divine masculine can start really working on his like issues, but like on his own energy, and start coming in or manifesting into the divine feminine's life. Yeah. So that is what I have for you. Now let's move into the stars to see what the stars have to tell us in terms of numbers and letters and astrological signs. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at letters and numbers and astrological signs, just to get more information or further validation or confirmation. So now let's rattle the stars and see what they have to tell us. Let's see what falls out. Okay, I think that's it. So let's see what we have here. So we have the number 1, 9, so we have 19 or 10. And then we have the letter C, and the letter S. So that could be some initials or the first letter of a first name or a last name, and then we have the astrological sign Sagittarius over here. Okay? Sagittarius. So maybe these numbers might be of some significance, birthdays, month, yeah, initials, or just a number or letter that you're seeing often, and this might be your astrological sign or the astrological sign of the person that you have in mind. Yeah, so that's all we have. So now let's look at some love notes and messages. Okay, so here we have our little treasure box with our love messages and notes. So how this is going to work, we're going to be pulling out some love notes from this little box here. And what I want you to do is I want you first to think of a general question. So first we're going to be choosing messages in regards to a general question that you have. So either if you want a message from your guides, from your higher self, or you just want some clarity on a situation, or you have a specific question, this is your time to ask it. The second time, we're just going to get a specific message direct from your divine counterpart, okay? And to pick the message, we're going to use our trusted little pendulum over here, okay? So a yes would be presented as this in circle. Now please show me a no. Will be a back and forth, okay? So that's our yes and no when choosing our little notes here. So first, let's get some notes for group number 1. I think that's enough. Let's close this out. And now let's move these notes forward. Again, so think of that general question that you have. If you want a message from a specific person, from your spirit guides, from your higher self, or you want clarity on a situation, think about that now. And then we're going to pull our pendulum over here. And we're going to see which notes are for you. So that's a no. No for this one. No, so again, remember back and forth is a no. Circular movement like this one is a yes. So this one. No. No. Messages for group number 1. No. No. This one's a yes. We have a no for this one. Ooh, this is tiring. Okay, so let's see. The first message for a general inquiry that we have for group number 1. Oh my goodness, I should have folded these more. Oh, showtime. Okay, so that's the first message that we have. The second message that we have, group number 1, in terms of general inquiries. Goodness, I didn't think these things through. Oh, it says let it be. Okay, now we're going to get a specific message from your divine counterpart. So this is for group number 1. So a specific message, please, from their divine counterparts for group number 1. Fated lovers. Specific message, divine counterpart for group number 1. Divine counterpart. More specific messages for those group number 1. No. Oh, that was a straight yes. Okay. So, to make it more interesting, let's look at the other one first. Let's see what the first message is from Divine Counterpart. Group number 1. Okay. Oh, we are always connected. Oh, that's true. Like I said, connected by the heart space. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now let's see the one that was like, hell yeah, this one. Better be. Oh my god. I got the chills. The stars whispered your name to me in a dream. Oh my god. You guys, we said that the Divine Masculine was barely like waking up, didn't know about the connection. This is a sign. The stars whispered your name to me in a dream. Okay, that's all the messages I have for you guys. So thank you so much for viewing this reading. I hope it resonated with you. I hope you liked it and enjoyed it. And yeah, please like or comment if it resonated with you, and subscribe if you want to stick around for more readings. Oh, and if you're interested for a private reading or for some personal guidance, I do have all the information down below in the description box. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment. Hello seekers who chose the tale of When the Sun Met the Moon. So to unfold your story, we're first going to be looking at this tarot card to get a general energy of the connection. But before I flip this card over, I just want to give you an intuitive message of what I'm picking up on in regards to this connection. So I do feel that most of you are already in contact with this individual, with this person. I do see this because we have them embracing here. I also get this feeling that you might be from different backgrounds, be it ethnicities or religion. And if you are in physical contact with this person, if you're already in a relationship with this person, I feel that the journey to beginning this relationship was quite difficult. There might have been a lot of obstacles or resistance from either family or friends or just life in general. But I feel that you have come through. That part is kind of over, because I do feel this with the flowers being represented here and this individual having this wreath of flowers. It's like finally picking up your rewards, and looking at their faces, it feels like the calm after the storm. It feels like, oh, we're finally through, and it's like embracing each other. It's like we made it on the other side. I also got this very sad feeling, but there is much love and romance here. It feels very passionate, this connection between you both, and I feel that you do have a lot of differences between you, but those differences do not divide you. They bring you together, so you learn from each other, and it balances you out. That's why I think I named this the sun and the moon. I don't know, this reminds me of Apollo, and I felt like moon energy from this individual here. So it's very very beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so now let's look at the card. Ooh, okay, so we have the Ace of Vessels, the waters of life, to represent the general energy of this connection, which is very beautiful because it's speaking of that okay, so first of all, for those of you who know the traditional tarot, this is the Ace of Cups, right? So this is abundance, and not only like financial abundance, but this is more to do with emotional abundance, because water for me represents emotions. Also, water represents for me a connection with spirit, because it's that very clear and fluent energy. Just reminds me of how like energy flows within our bodies. And this card, it's a very peaceful energy, because you can see how, like I said, you two might come from very different backgrounds, because we do have these two different animals, right? Very different species, but they unite at this pool of water. It's like deriving from the same source. Yes, you're very different, but at the core of things, you come from the same place, you come from the same source. And it's like your love is being represented here by this water. You know, by this waterfall, by this spring, and that love unites you both. It's when you reach this peaceful state that you both can come and connect. Because what I'm reminded here is like, you know, like in the wild, in the jungle, the water hole, where it's like all of the animals come to drink from this same source of water. And even though there's like predators and prey there, it's like they come to agree that there will be no fighting, there will be no differences here, because they're all uniting in a community to drink from this water, to be at peace. So it feels like this very peaceful energy. And I feel that that is what your love brings. And like I said, it feels very much like Romeo and Juliet. I hate that. I really don't like the story of Romeo and Juliet. But it's like you are from such different backgrounds that your connection might have caused a lot of chaos or disturbed the order of things. But you coming together and you embodying your love and demonstrating that this connection came from such a pure source really allowed for peace and community. Maybe you even brought your two families together, or if you're from different ethnicities, like bringing two cultures together, and it's just finding a meeting halfway. So your union is actually creates a lot of peace and communion. And I feel it's very supported by the universe, because we do have these 3 stones here. Now 3 represents creation for me and creativity. So I feel that your union does create like a new perspective, or just a sense of new acceptance for something. You might be from the same sex, from different ethnicities, from different religions, but your love shows all that this can work, that this comes from a pure space, that something new can be created from this, and that new is okay, that it's perfect on its own, because love is perfect, love is pure, and that's your connection. It comes from love. And I see that with the stones being representing earth energy, which represents stability, represents support for me. And it's also being protected by the universe, because we do have this tree being represented in the background, and I see this as like giving shade and protection. Yeah, so it's very loving, very peaceful and abundant. It's ever flowing. Like I see here, like this loving energy, just it keeps on going. It doesn't matter what life has thrown at you, what the world has thrown at you. You kept through and persevered because of your love for each other, because of the love that you created when you were in union. Yeah, it's very, very beautiful energy here. Now let's look at, I'm going to be pulling one tarot card for the divine masculine and one for the divine feminine. Now remember that divine masculine, divine feminine has nothing to do with sex or gender. It's just an energy. We all have both divine feminine and divine masculine within us, which creates the balance within us. But sometimes one of us may embody more of the divine feminine or the divine masculine, and that's just to create harmony and balance within the union. Okay, so we're going to be pulling one card for divine masculine, just to get a sense of its personality, more of its energy, more description on divine masculine. Oh, that's crazy. We have the Knight of Wands. That's the same card that came out in the first group. Okay, so the Knight of Wands is a very passionate, very driven individual. I see it as very daydreamy, because we do have like this daydreaminess represented here in its face. Passion, because of these red flowers, but it just reminds me of passion and creativity. This person might be a leader, might lead in their work, or just have this leadership characteristic about them. They might be also very determined. I don't know why I got that just looking at this screen here. They might be very goal driven, and just, I feels like a go-getter for me. Now I did say before that I noticed that it has 3 feet, this raven or this crow. So with the number 3 also being represented here in the flowers, 3 for me represents creation and creativity. So like I said, this person might be very creative, or might have creative talents, might be multi-talented. Art just came up, so this person might be musical, or might like to just draw and paint. I don't know what I'm getting for this one, that this person might have tattoos. The first person that came to mind when looking at this one, for this group in specific, was Ronan Lynch from The Raven Cycle, from Maggie Stiefvater. I don't remember her last name. For those of you who read the book, Ronan came to mind when looking at this card. So I'm sensing this to be a raven. So this person might be into the mystical or the occult, or instead of being talkative like I got for the first group, I feel this person to be quite silent. So they might come off as a bit broody sometimes, but it's not because they don't have anything to say. It's just they tend to think on things before saying it out loud. It feels like very much like Scorpio energy. They also have like deep emotions. If you think that this person is a bit cold or doesn't express themselves that much, it's not because they're emotionally blocked. It's just that their emotions run that deep that they really have to dive into. It's like a sea, an ocean of emotions. They have to dive into it to really understand it. So that's why they take the time before expressing what they feel, because their waters run that deep. Instead of daydreaming here, I did say daydreaming. I feel that this person really connects with their dreams. Again, I'm getting like Ronan Lynch vibes here. So they really connect with their dreams. You might connect with this person in the dream space. This person might know how to lucid dream or have very vivid dreams. They might know how to reach you, because we do have it being represented here as a bird. So it seems like a messenger of sorts. So they might reach you in the dream space. They might be very spiritual as well, and not spiritual like doing meditation or yoga or tarot cards, but spiritual in their own way or form. Like they really might believe in past lives or magic, but it's very eccentric energy. So they do things their own way. Very determined leader energy I'm getting here. It's cool that it's the same card as group number 1 but different energy. Okay, so I did get another card for Divine Masculine, and this one is, oh my goodness, Roman numerals. What would this one be? 8 of coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, 8. How embarrassing. Okay, 8 of coins. So what I'm sensing with the 8 of coins is that they're a hard worker. You know what I'm getting here? That in life, to others, they present themselves as this hard worker individual, like with the suit and tie, blue collar figure. So like I said, there might be leaders in their jobs. They might have their own company or be the boss of whatever they work in. Or they might have started their own business at an early age, and they might be quite successful. I see them being quite successful, quite wealthy, or achieve success at an early age. But what I'm sensing is that I did mention that you might be from very different backgrounds. So I feel that the Divine Masculine really had to put up this image of the suit and tie and being this pristine individual, not really allowing themselves to express their creativity or the creative talents, and they had to do more of the mundane tasks and the 9-to-5 jobs and be that hard worker. Maybe they had to pursue the career that their parents or their family wanted for them, and they had to put aside all of their dreams, because I do see them looking out. And really that's maybe also that why they're not so talkative, because they learned that they need to listen rather than to express themselves, that their real voice really doesn't matter, because like their life, their destiny has already been written for them, and so they had to follow like this rule book of how things should be done, or how their family has done things for the past 3 generations or something of the sort. So this is what they present themselves to be to others. They are hardworking, but it's just this image that they have to be this pristine and kind of stoic figure, when in reality they're this very passionate, creative, and free-spirited individual. So I feel that maybe the Divine Feminine really came into the Divine Masculine's life and started peeling back this layer and really allow the divine masculine to shine in this true light, to be this passionate individual. And I think maybe that's where the issues began, because probably the divine masculine's family didn't like that. That's when all the turbulence started occurring. Now we got one card for the divine feminine. Okay, so we have death in reverse. Let me put it up right for you guys. So death in reverse just speaks of transformation. We do have the butterfly being represented here. It's just this energy of being transformative, allowing yourself, surrendering to change, because death is the surrendering to change. Meaning that you allow yourself to release the old you to embody the new you. And I see this with this golden child here. It's like bringing in this new era, allowing yourself to bloom, but now more of your true essence. Now you also see this person, divine feminine, being very creative and passionate with the red flowers here. Also very pure and sweet. So I see the divine masculine being very broody and like dark in a way, and then the divine feminine just being like this jolly, joyful, free-spirited energy with this child being presented here, and these yellow butterflies. So very sunshiny, very bubbly, very pure energy. Yeah, and so being in reverse, this just speaks to me that the divine feminine is this joyful individual, right? Does come off as very jolly and very happy, but they also are very much like that divine masculine. They have deep emotions, and maybe they don't express it so much because they're always in this happy, free-spirited energy, but they also feel deeply, and they might not be so expressive with their emotions, something that maybe both of you relate in, that you're not so expressive of your emotions, and I see the divine feminine kind of keeping a lot of their pains and suffering inside. Like you don't want to be a burden to others, and so that's why there's a suppression of the emotions. But this also feels like Scorpio energy to me. And the divine feminine might have gone through a lot in their lives. So I see this as like, that's what I'm getting, like Romeo and Juliet vibes. I see that the divine masculine might come from a wealthy family, or a family that has high expectations or rules. And the divine feminine comes from this more free-spirited energy. So maybe the divine feminine didn't have a father figure, a mother figure in their life at an early age. Maybe they had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations in their life. They didn't come from a rich family, and they really had to work their way up. And they learned that really to go through life has to be in the sense of joy and wonder to get through to the other side. Because being so suppressed, or being in a state of sadness here, it becomes really hard for you to move on through the difficulties of life. So that's why I sense that there's a lot of changes and transformation with this person, because each struggle really allowed this person to transform and grow and mature. And this person allowed itself to change, to learn from the lessons. That's what I'm getting. And so much change within this person, really, that allows this person to shine this golden light, to shine this bright, because they really learned a lot of lessons from life through their trials and tribulations, through their struggles. And that's why I feel that this energy really comes strongly into the divine masculine's life, because it's something totally new, because this person is different as well, and it just inspires, I think, the divine masculine to truly come into its own essence. So I see both of you being very eccentric, only that the divine masculine hides it, and you, like, the divine feminine just, exudes it without any shame. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting. Now let's move into the oracle cards to just unfold your story even further. So we have balance in reverse, and we have fire. Now these two cards are going to represent how the divine masculine has affected the divine feminine, or has influenced the divine feminine through this connection. Now we have balance and fire in reverse. Okay, so balance for me speaks of being grounded, being stable, of allowing yourself to dream, to have your head up in the clouds without worrying of, drifting off like aimless balloon, because you are grounded in reality. So there is this balance, right? But in reverse, it speaks of the opposite. It's actually having your head up in the clouds without being rooted in some form of reality. And it could also be of having all of these dreams and just daydreaming about them, but not doing anything to make them come true. Now, this is how the divine masculine has influenced the divine feminine. So like I said, the divine feminine comes off as this very free spirit energy of being happy and joyful all the time. And I think that the divine masculine really, with the energy that I'm getting from the divine masculine of being this very stoic, very rigid figure, or that's the what has been taught to the divine masculine, really kind of grounds the divine feminine, or allows the divine feminine to realize that they have been quite up in the clouds for quite a while. That yes, they talk the talk of, being free and dreaming big and being like this free spirited energy like the butterfly, but the divine masculines are like, okay, it's beautiful that you dream. It's wonderful that you have all these dreams, but what have you done about them? How many of your dreams have you accomplished? It's like, you dream so big, but why aren't you bringing it into the reality? Why aren't you rooting them? And it's bringing that sense of reality to the divine feminine. And it's kind of realizing that, yes, the divine feminine probably plays this role of being happy and joyful, but maybe there is some inner wounds. I see this as like childhood wounding that really has dwindled that passion and fire within the divine feminine. And it's like, yes, the divine feminine dreams, but where is that passion to really bring the dreams into fruition? And that determination and that focus, because with the fire being represented here, it's not a wildfire. You see, it's contained, it's within the space. So it has a purpose, it has a focus, right? To bring warmth or to create life. And in reverse, it just reminds me that there is no focus, that it would be this fire, but it would be like a wildfire. So instead of bringing life, bringing warmth, it's destroying all that is around it. And with the divine masculine being so focused, so determined, so goal-oriented, I think really brings that forward, and the divine feminine realizes that maybe that's something that they need to work on. They really need to have this focus and determination, because they already have it. They already have all these dreams and wishes. They have the stars as their veil surrounding them. They have that imagination and creativity. It's just now they need the focus, the drive, the determination, and also the belief in oneself that they can bring this into fruition, that they don't only have to dream about it, but they can make it reality as well. And that's what the divine masculine comes in to teach the divine feminine. So this will be quite beautiful. Once it's turned upright, we have the best of both worlds. Bringing your dreams into the reality, being balanced, being stable, having a career or a job, or creating something of your own that brings you abundance, not only emotionally but financially as well, because it supports you. And allowing yourself to keep on dreaming, to keep being this free spirit, but also being part of this reality of this world. So not allowing yourself to get lost or drifting off into the clouds. And then with the fire here is having that passion, having that drive, having that focus. Also this abundance, because this fire is like, will never burn out. It keeps giving to you. it also guides you within this darkness. It's like I feel this is more of your inner light, the inner fire within the divine feminine. So it's not just portraying this jolly good figure, but it's actually being it, being that light. Actually believing what you're saying, actually believing the life that you're living. And that's what the divine masculine comes in. It's kind of a harsh reality for the divine feminine, but it helps. It helps the divine feminine because there is so much wonder and beauty and imagination with the divine feminine that is just, it would be such a shame and such a waste if it wasn't brought into this world, because there's a reason for such creativity and imagination. It's because you can bring it into this world, and it's making this world even more magical and abundant. So you are a gift. The divine feminine is a gift to this world. It's like this fire here. It's here to shed some light on this world with her purity, with her imagination, with her wonder. Now I'm going to be pulling 2 oracle cards that represent how the divine feminine has influenced the divine masculine. And we have the Worker card in reverse and Potential in reverse. Okay, so with the Worker card in reverse, let's talk about the bee. So the bee is worker energy. It's working hard, right? But working with purpose, because the bee goes out every day. It's like a routine like work to accumulate pollen to get honey, right, for the beehive. Now, in reverse, what the worker speaks to me is of a very workaholic energy. It's working and working and working, but it's not really for a purpose. It's more of to fill a void, right? It also, this energy reminds me of working and working and working, but not receiving the true abundance of the work that you're putting in. So usually I would relate this with working smart, not hard, but I feel this more a sense that the work that the divine masculine is doing is not actually bringing joy and fulfillment to the divine masculine, to the Knight of Wands, right? It's a work that the divine masculine is doing because it is asked of him, because it is expected of him. But there's actually no sense of joy and fulfillment. I see this with the Pentacles being represented here as time. And you see how this man here is looking at the clock at the time. It's like, when is this going to end? How long do I have to keep doing this for? It's like that 9-to-5 job when it's like 4 o'clock and you're just looking at the time and you're like, oh my God, this hour is taking forever. It's like eternal. When is it gonna end? And it's like, if you were enjoying your job, then you wouldn't be looking at the time and wondering when this hell of yours is going to end, right? And I feel that that's what the divine masculine is going through right now. It's this feeling of that's all that is expected of him, his work, how much he is acquiring from his work. And he thinks that that's all that he's worth, how much he provides, that his work represents him. But that's not the truth, because there is so much potential in the divine masculine. And I see this with the Potential card even being represented here. I know it's in reverse, but the fact that it came out here means something. So there is potential in the divine masculine. I feel that all these dreams, all this passion, what this crow or raven is looking out towards, the divine masculine hasn't forgotten it. And that's the reason why the job that the divine masculine is doing now doesn't fulfill him, because he knows there's something more. He knows there's something more for him. And that's the seed that has been planted here. It's in reverse now because the divine masculine probably is not allowing himself to fulfill it or to really go for it, to pursue it. But it's planted, it's here, it's been rooted, and that's because the divine masculine has been dreaming and longing for this for some time. I feel that maybe, they present us this like leader figure or boss of their job, and very, like I said, very stoic, very rigid, very rule-based. But I think on the side, the Knight of Wands actually pursues their dreams as a form of hobby. They might not really express it to others or talk about it that much because it's a hush-hush thing. It's a secret of theirs, because it might not be looked as a good thing, or by their family or by the people that surrounds the Knight of Wands, but it seems like they themselves haven't allowed their fire to completely dwindle. Yeah, they keep this on the down low, but it's because it really brings joy and passion within them. And so that's why the potential card does come out, but it's in reverse because they really haven't exposed this to the world. They really haven't allowed themselves to embody it. Like, they do pursue it, but it's like a little part of them. They just give it a bit of their time. And you see time being represented here. And most of their time or their energy is spent on doing this thing that really brings them no fulfillment. And so now it's time to step into this, into their true essence, who they are, and really pursue their dreams to bring them into fruition. Because we do see this seed sprouting here. And we do have the sun being represented here in the background. And sun reminds me of divine masculine energy. So I feel it's when they allow themselves to really come out in their essence, be like, I am this raven, you know, forget this suit and tie, I have wings, I can fly, and they allow themselves to lift off into the sky, then that's when they exude this sun energy. This sun energy is like them, and then that's when this seed finally gives fruit and sprouts. And so I feel that you, or I don't know why I say you, but the divine feminine, when they come in with this free-spirited energy, with this like belief you can make your dreams come true, that anything is possible. I feel that this energy is of that, like anything is possible, and you don't have to live the life that has been written for you, because you create your own life. Then the divine masculine starts, you know, taking off his tie, unbuttoning his shirt, and be like, you know what, I can. And starts coming out of this energy of being so rigid, of doing what is expected of them, of just like waiting until like the clock strikes 5 to get out of this place to do what they want to do. Is like, no, I can live this life that I want 24/7. And then that's what the divine masculine comes and brings into the divine feminine brings into the divine masculine. So the divine feminine, this golden child, reminds the divine masculine, this Knight of Wands, that he is also golden. That who he is really at the core is golden. And that they can fly because they have wings. They are this raven. So it's this very transformative energy here. And that's why I feel that when you come together, there's this sense of peace and union, because you truly can be yourselves with each other. You don't have to be, or the divine feminine no longer has to be this joyful or happy individual. You can really allow yourself to let your walls crumble and express your true emotions. Be vulnerable with your divine masculine. So that's what I'm getting here for you guys. Now I'm going to pull 2 oracle cards to represent the energy of the connection right now. So we have grounded and we have lovers in reverse. Okay. Okay, so with the grounded card, this speaks to me, it's very reminiscent of balance. It speaks to me of being balanced and in connection. So we see this person being in connection with earth and truly reaching down, rooting, right? With these roots, what I'm reminded of, it's like several connections. So I feel that you two have actually connected in several lives, so you live in many other lives together. If you believe in like other, people usually talk about them as past lives, but I think of time as being an illusion, non-existent. So there is no past, so all of the lives are being lived now. So I just call them other lives. So you two are in connection in many other lives. That's what I see with all these roots. And with water being here, it just reminds me of source, of spirit. So you are connected at the source, right? You have always been connected at the source. So I see with the grounded card here is that, yes, I do think that you two are in physical contact with each other. Like this connection has grounded, has come into the physical reality. Maybe it's not fully stable yet, because we do have the Lovers in reverse, right? So this also speaks of a connection. And with the eye here being represented in the sun, I see this as the all-seeing, all-knowing eye of the universe. So it's like watching over this connection, because you two are meant to meet, because you even see they don't have feet here, it's just light. So you are connected at the source. But with this body of water here, like the ocean being represented here in the clouds, and this being in reverse, I still feel that maybe you are still going through all those struggles or tribulations or oppositions from others. And that, yes, you might be in connection, but maybe you can't really get together or be stable in a way. You can't really, I don't know if you like want to marry each other or just be together. You can't really be together yet. So there is some form of distance or some form of obstacle keeping you apart. But I do feel you are in connection with this person in physical reality. So you are in contact with this person. But maybe you still need to come out, or the divine masculine really needs to come out of this energy, embody his true essence, or just declare his independence, that he is the ruler of his own life. And that's when I think this can very stabilize into the physical, like you truly can come together. So that's what I'm sensing with these ones. So now I'm going to be pulling one card for each to represent what each of you is working on at the moment that may be affecting the connection, holding it back from manifesting it to the physical reality, or just maybe blocking it. So for the divine masculine, we have the Six of Quote. I don't remember the names of these, but this is card number 43. So this is lightning. Okay, so I actually read these cards differently from the book. So lightning from you represents a sudden change. It's a realization of things. So when a storm hits, when lightning strikes, it's because we need to see things differently. We need to realize something within our lives that is not working for us. Because lightning is light, right? So it's the light in the darkness. So I feel that the Knight of Wands, the divine masculine, is really going through a transformation at this moment. I think that if the divine feminine has come in contact with the divine masculine, I think that the presence of the divine feminine really struck the divine masculine. It was like this lightning bolt here. It made him realize that he has been working on or living his life in accordance to others rather than his own. And I think this is the realization right now, that the divine masculine is going through this realization, and that his life is changing at the moment, is going through this storm phase right now. But no worries, because remember that no storm is ever lasting. All storms pass. They're passing things. So this will pass. The storm will settle, and after the storm comes much clarity and the sense of renewal for things to begin, for the new chapter to commence. So this is what I'm sensing that the divine masculine is going through at this moment. And that may be also the reason why this relationship can't really form right now, because this is a time for transformation for the divine masculine. This is like something he needs to deal on his own, in his own life at the moment. Now for the divine feminine, we have the Queen of whatever this clover or thingy is called. This is card number 40. This is wine. So this represents cheerfulness and celebration. So this speaks to me of that energy I was feeling for the divine feminine. This very cheerful and jolly energy. But what I'm seeing with this card is that we do have wine, beer, and alcohol here, right? So that means just don't overindulge. That's what I'm seeing here, overindulgence. It's just asking you, usually people in the spiritual community, they say, be positive because it keeps your vibration high. Now, yeah, that's true. But we are part of this physical world. We are humans for a reason, because we are meant to feel all the emotions. Allowing ourselves to feel sadness or anger is not a bad thing, because it's part of us being human. And that's what we came here for, to live that experience, to learn from it. So do not overindulge in this idea that you have to be positive and happy all the time to get through the darkness or the storm. Yes, that form of positivity and happiness is a sense of hope. So having hope with you is essential and it's helpful, but you don't have to put up this idea or this persona that you're happy all the time and you're in high vibration all the time, because it really is not helpful to you, because what is causing you is to suppress your other emotions, which are also a part of you because they're an expression of you. And if you are this idea that you are this free spirit, or that the world is here to allow you to express yourself truly, then allow yourself to express yourself truly. Express all of your emotions, not only some of them. Don't overindulge on this idea or just this happiness, because when you drink too much wine or too much beer, you get drunk and things get fuzzy, and you don't want that for yourself. You want to live in your reality. You want to be part of your reality, and being part of your reality is being you yourself, authentic at all times. And if your authentic now is sad, then allow yourself to be sad. If you're angry, then accept that anger. You don't need to lash out and be aggressive, but it's just to accept, I'm angry at this moment. I'm angry, and see why you're angry. It's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you human, because that's who you are. You are human. You're a spirit living a human experience, but at the end of the day in this reality, you are human, and that's the beauty of it, because you're here to experience that. So allow yourself to experience that. So that's what I feel you are working on at this moment as well. So I feel this is asking you to just come into your authenticity, to be vulnerable, to really express all of you, not just a part of you, because we do have this woman and this child here. This embodies all of you. You're not only this golden child, you're also this woman here. Just like, look at this car for a while. See what it brings up in you. So you're all of this, and all of this is beautiful. All of you is beautiful. Remember that. Allow all parts of you to shine through. Not only what you think others perceive as pretty. Because you are all beautiful. All of you is beautiful. And your divine masculine sees that. So that's what I have for you in terms of the cards. Now let's go into the stars to see what they have to tell us in terms of letters, numbers, and astrological signs. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so now I have pulled down the stars for you to see what they have to tell us in terms of letters, numbers, and astrological signs. So this is just to get further information, validation, or confirmation. So now let's rattle the stars to see what they have to tell us for group 2. We have here. Okay, I think that's enough. So now let's see what it is that we have. Okay, so we have the letter B, the letter H, we have the number 1, the number 6, 5, the astrological sign Virgo, and the letter R. Okay, so these letters might be the first letter to yours or your significant other's first or last name, the initials of your significant other. We have these numbers. You might see these numbers often, or they might have to do with a birth date or birth month. And then the astrological sign might be of yours or your significant others, or also might be the season when you met your divine counterpart or going to meet your divine counterpart during Virgo season. Or one of these might represent that month or day. Yeah. So that's all I have for you in terms of letters and numbers. And now let's pull out the love messages for you guys. Okay, so we have our little treasure box over here. So how this section is going to work is we're first going to be pulling love messages or answers and replies to a general question that you have, any general inquiry. So if you want to get a message from your spirit guides, your higher self, or you want maybe a suggestion or an advice to a certain situation, now is your time to ask it. The second time we'll be pulling out some notes will be messages directly coming from your divine counterpart. And to help us choose the notes that are meant for you, the messages that are meant for you, we're going to use our little trusted pendulum over here. So please, pendulum, if you can please show us what a yes looks like. So as you can see, a yes is a circular motion. And now can you please show us what a no looks like? Is this back and forth or side to side motion here? Okay? So now I want you to think of a question, or if you want a message from your spirit guide or from a specific person, think of that person. We'll be pulling out notes for you guys. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's put this aside. And let's put these messages to the front. And now we're going to be using our pendulum over here to see what messages are for you. So again, keep thinking about that question or that person you want a message from. It's a no. A no over here, answering your general inquiries. No. No. Nope. Oops. No. This one's a yes. A no for this one. This one's a yes. And this one's a no. So we had two yeses over here. So let's see what they have to say. Do 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 do. Did I fold them so much? So the first message is soon. Have soon here. Now let's look at the second message. I'm pulling several because this is a general reading, so I know that we have different inquiries. Ooh, showtime. This came out for the first group as well. So those are your two messages for your general inquiries. Now let's get a message from your divine counterpart. So let's see. No. No. Message from divine counterpart for group number 2. And the sun met the moon. Message from divine counterpart, please. This one. Message from divine counterpart, please. For group number 2. Message from divine counterpart for group number 2. Message from divine counterpart for group number 2. Delete this one. Divine counterpart for group number 2. Okay, so I guess we only have one. Let's see what it says. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so this one says, our connection deserves more than a label. It deserves every expression. Okay, so that's the note that I have for you guys from your divine counterpart. That's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated with you. If you do like this reading and it resonated, please like or comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings, then please do subscribe. Oh, and I do give personal readings, so if you're looking for personal guidance, all the information is down in the description box. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until the next moment.